So, Jose, I'm gonna show you how to work with the sense on fader.
Great.
Okay. So there are 4 different ways to work with the sense on fader. The first one is, okay, you press sense on fader, obviously, on the board, and that changes the fader status to sense on fader. So right now, it's telling to us on the scroll strips that we are on axillary number 4.
Yes.
So how I change to a different axillary is all the play we have to do here. First option, we have the scroll arrows here. So if I move the scroll arrows, I touch the scroll arrows, I'm moving auxiliaries one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good if you just have a couple of auxiliaries and you're feeding a reverb and a delay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough to play around that. If you need more ways to work, we have a screen where you touch it and that opens a window where actually you can jump to any auxiliary very fast.
Great.
Okay? That's the second option. It's good if you have just a few, 4, 5 auxiliaries, maybe you want to play around those. Okay, a third way. I have this bank isolated. Now these 2 banks are inputs and this third bank it's outputs. So I have the masters of the auxiliaries here.
Yes.
Just by selecting the auxiliary, it changes
Nice.
the auxiliary you're working on. Basically, this is the way you will choose if you're doing a proper monitor setup or you have the console and monitors. This is the most convenient one. And there is a fourth one that works around the user assignable section. So on the screen I told you before, if you open that screen, you can send a particular auxiliary sense on feather into a button here. So let's do it. I'm going to hold this button. As always, when I want to sign something on the user assignable section, I have to hold it 2 seconds. I select, let's do auxiliary number 1. So I select button number 1. It says on the screen assign. And then you see all the auxiliaries get an orange square. So I just need to choose the auxiliary I want to send there. And from now on, no matter which screen I am, when I press this button, it goes to sense on fader of that particular auxiliary I choose.
And
So you have these 4 ways to work around. The scroll arrows, the proper screen on the screen, the proper window on the screen, sorry, the master section on the auxiliaries, recalling the sense on fader from them, or you can assign a particular sense on fader for a particular auxiliary into a button here.
Really nice because when you are mixing monitors and you have like 8, 10 cents, having this bank and the access here for all your sense on faders is really useful.
Actually, if you're getting really into a big monitor setup, you have 3 banks. So you have in total 24 buttons, so you can assign in one click 24 cents on fader in ready to shot and ready to work. And we know on monitors, everything relies on how quick you can access these things. So we introduce 4 different workflows to match 4 different situations, from a very tiny situation with a couple auxiliaries to a huge monitor section.
Yeah. It's cool because here we only have 6 monitors on the stage. So I can use the extra button maybe to put the graphic EQ of that channel.
Sure, yeah.
That auxiliary.
That's another thing you can do. You can use some buttons to recall the graphic EQ of this particular auxiliary. So you can have sense on fader and graphic EQ. So that makes things very easy. So just pressing 2 buttons, you get all the information you need to see in one shot. So the workflow of monitors has been well thought out here on the console, I think.
That's great. It's really useful because here I will have a lot of different bands with completely different setups. So have all that information just right there is really handy.
So let me tell you a small trick I do when I work. On the master auxiliary section, so we have now auxiliary number 1. If I select it, this opens up my main screen about the master section. If I change the name of the auxiliary, and let's say the auxiliary number 1 is the drummer, okay? So I'm giving the drummer on the name on the auxiliary. Instead of auxiliary number 1, from now on will be the drummer. And I normally use red color to assign everything regarding the percussions of the drum. So I select red, okay? So right now, when I am on sense on fader of the auxiliary number 1, the background of the scripts are red, and instead of telling me auxiliary number 1, it's telling me drummer on all of them. So if you have a complicated situation where you have a lot of people, you don't need to remember the number of auxiliary regards which musician it is. You can write it down, you can use the colors to help you out, and that's going to make you very easy to navigate across the monitors and make the musicians happy.
Yes, and it's a really nice screen because you have a lot of information there,
Yeah.
but it's really clear and it's really easy to read. So
Yeah, actually, they're
yeah,
very good screen.
Yeah, yeah, really cool.